This brings us to one of my favorites. The Juice Bowl, everybody. It is the Juice Bowl. What is the Juice Bowl?
Just tell them.
Well, the Juice Bowl is the series of the Houston Astros, who play in Minute Maid Park, versus the Tampa Bay Rays, who play in Tropicana Field. It is for orange juice supremacy. 2 cartons enter, 1 carton leaves. And tonight we find out what carton that is. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this any day but today, you're already going to know. In the big inning, there was baseball. It is Thursday, October 10th, the year of our Lord 2019, Anno Domini. How are you doing, Evan?
I'm fine. We're back. CJ was taking another vacation.
You were taking a vacation this time. This one was you. Oh, I puked a little. This one was you.
I told you I'd piss you off within the first 5 seconds. Mission accomplished.
Evan,
let's do this show. We're ready to go.
Evan has no constitution, folks. He can't simply, sometimes you got to be a little Cal Ripken. And you're no Cal Ripken, sir. You're more like Nick Johnson.
How dare you compare me to Nick Johnson?
Well, stop acting like him. Oh, I stubbed my toe. I can't do the show. Come on.
Bro, how many vacations have you taken since we started this?
1.
No, 3 or 4. You went to Ohio for vacation. Who does that? This guy.
This is the last episode that he is going to exist on this earth.
Stefan Marbury of the show.
What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it's not good.
You're like the Latrell Sprewell. What does that even mean?
He has cool hair. I'd love to have cool hair.
He did have very, very cool hair. So much to talk about.
We're fired up. It's playoffs.
We had so much to talk about last week before Evan decided he doesn't like to work.
We did need to film last week.
That
was a very bad time for me to take off.
Given that Evan's unemployed,
I'm not unemployed. I have a job, you dick.
That's great.
First off. And second off, I was throwing up blood. That's bad.
Yeah. It's not like you were dead. Did you die?
I could have. You don't know.
The Dodgers last night played the Nationals. Sorry about that. And it didn't go well.
Are you choking a little bit?
Shut up. It didn't go well for the boys in blue. It was very, very bad. They made some very, very bad decisions. And that seems to be the common theme of Dave Roberts managing teams in the playoffs.
Right? I've never really liked Roberts very much. I think he has a hard time managing pitchers.
I've hated Roberts ever since the 2004 LCS.
Okay.
He can suck a fat one, but I will say this, that, he does not know how to manage a bullpen. And we kind of saw that in a couple of ways. First of all, look, I get it, okay? And I'm actually going to go against something that I firmly believe, because in this case, there's just no way for me to defend it. This is the one exception that I'm willing to kind of give you here. I usually don't believe in the idea of clutch players. A player's always trying to get a hit, and some players maybe are lucky more than others. I don't think there's any such thing as a clutch player. And I don't think there's any such thing as a player that crumbles under the postseason pressure. But man, I can't defend Clayton Kershaw anymore.
It's very hard to, because we've seen this every October, it feels like.
Yeah.
And did you see the funny memes that were posted on Twitter?
Probably.
The Joker movie just came out, so they had the movie
Choker,
poster Choker coming to you every October.
Right. And, there's that, and there's the fact that we're not talking about 2012 Clayton Kershaw anymore.
Yeah.
This is a guy who, he's only 30 years old, but he's not the player he used to be. What is the deal with bringing him in? Because clearly they only wanted him to face the lefties in the Nationals lineup.
But it made no sense to keep him in when you got to the heart of the order. You go in Rendon and Soto back-to-back, and you gave up 2 home runs on back-to-back pitches.
And where was Kenley Jansen?
Exactly. He should have been in the game instead of Kershaw, and for whatever reason, Dave Roberts thought he could stretch out 2 more outs, and it was dumb. He couldn't.
Yeah. A couple years ago, Buck Showalter made the biggest mistake of his career when he lost a game while leaving while leaving his closer in the bullpen because he wanted the save. He wanted to save him for a save situation.
Yeah, you can't do
Big
that.
mistake. But that's not the case here.
Right.
You can't get a save in extra innings or even in the 9th inning at home.
It's also amazing how fast the momentum shifted once the game did get tied. Because you just felt the crowd was dead. The Dodgers felt like Kershaw was defeat. Like, it was bad. It went bad real quick.
Yeah, and you got guys like Kolarek in the bullpen. These are guys who should have been. Jansen should have been in this game. Kolarek should have been in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, even so, when he tried to stretch Joe Kelly for extra batters, that's just not the kind of pitcher that Joe Kelly is.
No.
So it was bad.
I hate when managers look at towards the end of the game what they think the outcome is going to be based on where you are now, and they try to manipulate that by getting an easy out, or there are no easy outs.
Yeah.
If you feel like the situation is getting out of hand, you should have made the call to the bullpen. There was no reason for Kershaw to be out there as long as he was. And when you saw him give up that first home run, that's when you should have taken him out.
True, and like I said, they only wanted him in there to get the lefties. So, yeah, when he gave up that home run, they said, okay, you know what? We brought him in here to face Soto.
Right.
It makes no sense for us to pull him now. We think he can get Soto out, so let's do it. And then the worst case scenario happens.
No. I mean, I also want to talk about the Tampa and Houston series, too, because I think part of the reason why Verlander was so bad is not because his stuff was that off or his command was that off, but one thing that was an issue was his slider.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I know we're gonna get there, but he had issues locating his slider, and the speed was off, and he was throwing it over the heart of the plate. That's gonna get shacked, and that's exactly, I think, what happened with Kershaw. He was relying on the same pitch, and he threw it to the two hardest batters in the team, and he put it in the wrong location.
Yeah.
Those were easy pitches to clobber.
He is such an enigma, and. This is going to. He's obviously a Hall of Famer at the end of his career. Mm-hmm. If he was like a 90% Hall of Famer, this might drop. This is going to really stick in the eyes of some voters that he can't play in the playoffs.
I think at this point you'd have to. You lose 2 World Series back to back, and then you lose in the division series to a wild card team.
So here's the reality of the matter, and you know what? I said this a few weeks ago. The Nationals are scary, man. You sleep on the Nationals, you're going to have a bad time.
We
that
both
pitching
said this.
is incredible.
Yep.
That offense is still incredible. Bryce Harper is sitting at home watching them do it now. And, the Dodgers, look, I don't want to take away from a 106-win team, but then you kind of have to look at the teams they played 19 games against. Mm-hmm. The Giants, the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, the Padres.
And those are all teams that, when bad, were dreadful this year. Dreadful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, the Rockies were so bad.
You look at the Rockies, and on paper you go, oh, that's obviously a really good team. But then you look at the things that they did this year. No, they were so inconsistent and up and down for the type of team they should have been.
Right. So, man, they were a really good team. They just were not ready for the Nationals. That's the end of that. Now, we do also want to talk about the other NL series, and there's a reason I'm doing these back to back, not just because they're both NL, but because I got a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
You are about to play a Game 5 in the division series.
Right.
How would you rather? Your team's going to lose. How would you rather your team lose? Would you rather your team have a heartbreaker that they were winning most of the time, then went to extra innings, then lost? Or would you rather see your team go down 10-0 after 1 inning? Because that's what happened to that's what happened to the Braves. In the Cardinals-Braves, it was 10-0 before anyone blinked an eye.
See, that's a tough question because as a fan going into the game, your expectation is never that you're going to be in that situation.
Especially in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. So I think maybe when it happens, the mindset might change a little differently. Like once you get to 6-0, then you're probably like, fine, screw it, just destroy us at this point. Because if you have a 6-0 game and then you watch your team come tie it up 6-6 and then you lose 8-6, 7-6, that's going to hurt so much more every time.
I think it also kind of depends on whether you're watching on TV or if you're there live. If I'm there live,
absolutely.
If this team goes down 10-0, I'm rioting.
You'd be pissed. You'd be cursing. You'd be probably throwing peanuts.
You mean I get my hot dog and my drink and I sit down and I'm already losing?
Yeah.
Well, and now I can't even drink it off because I'm paying $12 for a beer.
If you didn't watch the game, we're talking 10-0 end of the first.
Yeah.
Like middle first.
Yeah. It's
like the Braves didn't even
stunning.
bat yet.
It was
They
stunning.
got up to bat and they were losing 10-0.
Yeah, the leadoff batter's up there like, oh, I lost.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your first thought as the leadoff
and
batter.
it sucks because the Braves are a young, talented, fun team, and I actually thought they could go further. I didn't think the Cardinals would beat them. But now looking back on it, the Cardinals really do have an elite bullpen, and they have some solid bats spread out. I mean, Ozuna is unbelievable when he gets his power going. You have Goldschmidt's a pretty solid first baseman.
It is funny because Ozuna for them for 2 years has been pretty bad. And then, he kind of turns it on at the end of this season, and now in the playoffs, he's their best hitter. And it's bizarre. Very. And, man, the Cardinals, if they can get into the playoffs, they just have that black magic. Mm-hmm. All they got to do is just get in somehow. Like in 2006, when they won 83 games and won the damn World Series.
It was really only 83 games that they really?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought it was closer to like 89, 90 maybe. I knew they were a low win team.
That NL Central was awful that year. Listen. Whatever the opposite of cursed is, that's what the Cardinals are when it comes to the playoffs. Like, you got the Cubs who for 100 years were cursed. The Cardinals, they just have that black magic.
Sorry to cut you off, but I have a question for you as well. What would you consider a huge upset in a series? So, like, if Tampa Bay beat Houston, would you consider that a big upset?
I would consider that a very big upset.
Right, because Houston was a 107 win team.
Yeah.
And Tampa is a 97 win team.
Yeah.
When you say that it's an upset or a steal, you're not saying that Tampa Bay is bad. No one's saying Tampa Bay is bad. But you're saying that Houston is that good that a 107 win team should probably not lose to a team that has 10 less wins than that.
Right. And, the Astros were one of the teams that it was like Astros, Yankees, Dodgers.
Yeah.
That everyone saw as, well, that team could totally win it all.
Yeah. And they don't even talk about the Twins.
Probably more people than any other team said the Astros because they're just so complete. They're so good. They have the best postseason roster ever. And here we are. This is just like when the Phillies had Halladay and when they had their insane postseason roster back in 2012 when they had all of those amazing pitchers as their starters. And guess what? They lost in the NLDS. They say that pitching wins championships, except when it doesn't, and this has the chance to be one of those when it doesn't times. We'll get to that. So you really want to talk about this series badly?
You want to talk about the Mets?
No, you really want to talk about the Astros very badly. Nobody wants to talk about them. We talk about playoff teams now.
They didn't make the playoffs,
so that we can't talk about them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought for a second they might have made it.
No, I believe they were eliminated on the same day that the Cubs were.
But Pete Alonso's a god, and DeGrom's a god, and Noah Syndergaard's apparently a god.
Well, Noah Syndergaard is Thor, who is literally a god.
Joe, settle down over there. Our producer Joe is wooing and putting his hands in there.
I've never seen someone so happy about a non-playoff team during the playoffs in my entire life. Yeah, right? Good for him.
He's giddy now.
I wish I was like that during those 2 years the Yankees.
Okay, let's get on to it.
Hey, speaking of the Yankees, wow, what a segue! I'm good at this. Yankees Twins. Let us, as they did in Cool Runnings. Oh, wait, maybe that wasn't Cool Runnings. I don't remember what movie it was. Never mind. Let's throw our heads back and laugh. You're not laughing. Hey, that was a bloodbath. You know something? I went into that series, man, warning everybody. Sure, have your fun at how the Yankees handled the Twins. This is a different team. Watch, this Twins team is going to give the Yankees fits. What the hell do I know, right?
There was a feeling in Game 1 that we were down 2-0, I think.
Yes.
After the first inning or
no,
two?
I think it was like the first 2 innings.
Something like that. Anyway, everyone in the stands was acting like we had just been killed.
You would have thought it was the 2004 ALCS Game 7.
It was unbelievable. And when we had bases loaded and we actually scored 2 runs and took the lead 3-2, no one really knew because it was a wild throw into the stadium. I was like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
It tricked me, too, because
tricked
Evan
everyone.
was the one who, I'll give him some credit here. You were the one who figured out, I'm pretty sure the score is wrong on the
I said it
scoreboard.
like 6 times because the bases were loaded. There was
One out,
and then Torres
there
who
ended
hit
up being
it.
only one person on.
Yeah,
at
and
the
he was
end,
on
so
second.
Obviously, 2 runs had to have come in.
So me and one other hilarious, she was Spanish or something, woman, got it right, and we were both
Behind us, right?
Behind us,
Yeah,
and we were
there
both
was a
yelling
couple
to each
there.
other, and then we looked at each other, and we were like, "Yeah, we're right."
Her and the guy she was there with were actually both a lot of fun at that.
Yeah,
game.
they were a lot of fun.
They were really cool.
They were rowdy.
They figured it out too, and I'm sitting there like I'm the AP teacher here.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out apparently.
But no one else. Like the other people in our group, they had no.
This is, and I still hold by the fact that this Twins team was very different. All of those Twins teams that the Yankees kept crushing in the playoffs, they were very a very high contact, not very much power. Their pitchers weren't very strikeout happy, except for like Johan.
Yep.
And
Very good high defense team.
good defense, really, really good outfielders, good infielders.
Like remember the
And
Torrey
they're-
Hunter years?
Yeah. Well,
They had that type of player.
right, and they're very fast players. They knew how to get around on the base paths, and their pitchers, like I said, wouldn't really strike out many guys, but pitched to really good soft contact. This was not that team.
Yeah.
The issue is that, sure, they hit their home runs, but they had nothing going on pitching.
No,
they
in
had
between,
nothing going on their bullpen. I mean, the Yankees feasted.
Yeah.
And that game
No,
three,
and you're absolutely right, because if you go back to those early Twins teams, you look at players like Mauer, Morneau,
Jock Jones.
They had power, but they were not power hitters. They were heavy contact hitters that could
gap
spread
the ball.
the-
They could
exact-
gap the ball, and
exactly.
then they had some
Good
decent
defense,
speed
good
to
arms,
get them
good
to,
speed, exactly.
Let's talk about this dubious record that the Twins have tied. So first of all, the Yankees have defeated the Twins in, I think it's 13 straight postseason games.
Yes, it might be a little more, but it's within the 13 game.
Well,
range.
I'll say this. The record for the most losses consecutively in sports, in North American sports, is 16. Now, going into this series, that was held by only one team. It was the Detroit Red Wings. This was back in the 80s. Back in the 80s when there were only 18 teams in the NHL and 12 teams made the playoffs. So odds are you were a pretty bad team making the playoffs, and that's what the Red Wings did so many times in the 80s. They lost 16 straight playoff games. With that loss in Game 3, the Twins have lost their 16th straight playoff game. Wow. So the record, I actually don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it was held by the Red Sox from 86 to 98. It was somewhere in maybe like 11 or 12. The Twins have... Actually, it might have been higher. It might have been like... No, I think it was like 11 or 12. This year, the Twins have blown past that. But it's fun, man.
it is very fun.
It's fun.
That was a great series. I mean, how many runs did we score? Like 30?
A lot of runs. Yeah, the first game was, 10-4?
Didn't we score like 30 runs in the London game?
Hold on, wait. That first game was 10-4. The second game was 8-1 or 8-2.
Something like that.
So that's 18 runs there, and then 5 runs in the last game.
Right, 5-1.
So 18 plus 5, 23.
Yeah, okay. So that's wow. Yeah, that's
20.
fun. When's the last time the Mets did something like that? Do you remember?
Yeah, they made it to the World Series a few years ago. Good for
Oh,
them.
okay.
But who did they lose to?
Did they win? Oh, they didn't win.
Yeah, they lost to like some team that just recently lost 105 games. Something
We
like
really need to stop with the Mets.
No, we don't.
Okay.
It's too much fun. This brings us to one of my favorites. The Juice Bowl, everybody. It is the Juice Bowl. What is the Juice Bowl?
Just tell them.
Well, the Juice Bowl is the series of the Houston Astros, who play in Minute Maid Park, versus the Tampa Bay Rays, who play in Tropicana Field. It is for orange juice supremacy. 2 cartons enter, 1 carton leaves. And tonight we find out what carton that is. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this any day but today, you're already going to know who that is.
He's been excited since the beginning of the show to get to this segment.
Baby.
He's so excited.
Sponsored by O.J. Simpson. I'm just kidding. Don't take that seriously. Please don't come kill me. O.J., who do you think is going to win tonight?
I think it's going to be Houston.
You think
just
Houston's
because
got it?
Garrett Cole is so unbelievable, and if he's on point, it's going to be hard to beat him.
Okay, devil's advocate. Let me play a little devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know who else is unbelievable? Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, he is.
If the two of those take a 0-0, 0-0, hell, even if the Astros are up 1-0, and you get into that underbelly of that terrible bullpen that the Astros have, you don't know.
If you go bullpen to bullpen, I'm sorry, Tampa Bay is going to win 9 out of 10 times usually.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. And they have that Yarborough kid or whatever.
Yeah, Yarborough, yeah.
He can do everything.
Yeah.
He can be a starter. He can go 2. He can go 3. I really like him. I also like Castillo, Anderson. Who was the other strike thrower that they had in the opener? They had those 3 guys that went 6 innings.
And I mean, this is the team that actually traded away some of their bullpen. I mean, Kolarek, like I mentioned earlier on the Dodgers, he was traded from the Rays. He's a really, really good pitcher.
Do they still have Stanek or something?
Yes, Stanek, yes.
I like him too.
So I'll say this, and I kind of brought this up on Twitter. By the way, in case you don't know, our twiddle. What's a twiddle? Twitter. In case you want to twiddle our Twitters, you can twiddle our Twitters by going to either me, CJ in pinstripes, or
Evan D. Wetzel 4.
Evan D. Wetzel 4, because the first 3 were taken. Am I right?
By me. By me, but I lost my password.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
You somehow made it worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, much worse. They're all me. They're all me.
So anyway, I had brought this up on Twitter. So there's a bunch of Yankee fans out there who are very, very happy that this is going to a Game 5 and are rooting for the Rays.
They need to calm down a little bit.
Careful what you wish for. You might get it. I happen to see it as this. You either get the really, really scary, awesome, amazing team, or you'll get the team that beat them.
Yep.
And I'm sorry. In the playoffs, there are no, unless it's the Twins, there are no breaths of fresh air, especially at this point. Once you get to the ALCS, there's no breath of fresh air.
And I think the reason the Twins felt easy is because they were depleted on 2 areas, which was the starters and the relievers, whereas they had to rely on their record-breaking offense. And like you said, they weren't hitting for contact. When you have to rely on all your home run hitters to hit multiple home runs each game, you're gonna get into an issue.
Yeah,
especially when they didn't have a lot of runners in scoring position in a lot of those games at the right time.
Yeah. So don't think that just because the Rays win that it's suddenly the Yankees have a clear path to the World Series. Don't think that just because the Dodgers are out that they have a clear path to winning the World Series.
Oh, no, not at all. If we get the Nationals, I think it's just as hard as the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I think they're very similar teams in that aspect. They both the Dodgers and the Nationals have really good starting pitchers, and they have insane bats. And you put Bellinger or Soto in Yankee Stadium, that's scary.
That's very scary. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it might if
Rendon.
Guys like those, I mean, make it. The Yankees played a team in the Twins that, they showed their power, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Right.
The Nationals could do better than the Twins did, and the Twins were the ones who were advertised as the big offensive threat.
Yeah.
So, what I have to say to that is, all right, so...
I knew that was coming. You were saving that, you son of a bitch. God damn it.
So, yeah. I took my own train of thought away.
Yeah, you took everyone's train of thought away. The guy working next door probably doesn't know what's going on.
Do we have any other comments on the Juice Bowl?
Yeah, I was going to talk about Tampa Bay again real quick because you're 100% right. If they beat Houston, I actually think that they might be a harder matchup for us because they are so dynamic with how they use the bullpen and the openers, and I think they could beat us with that game.
The season matchup between the Yankees and the Rays, the Yankees, I believe, won it, but it was close.
It was
close.
Might
have been one or two games difference. Yeah. So,
the reason I think we match up better with a team like Houston is because we basically are the same team. They're both very similar, and I think we can beat Houston's bullpen. If you get Verlander out after 6 or 7, we can start smashing some of those guys.
Yeah, the only difficult part comes, like, you got to make sure you're pitching also
that's
holds
correct.
tight.
That is correct.
You know, the Yankees have had so much go wrong on their pitching staff that...
I mean, people were making fun of the fact that our ace, I guess a lot of them were calling him Tanaka, only went 5 innings. But you don't need a pitcher to be able to go 6, 7, 8 now. If he goes 5 strong and then can hand it over to 2, 3 other guys.
Do you see the bullpen that the Yankees have?
Exactly.
What is,
Because we won that game with
Tyler Lyons
Tanaka.
isn't in at an important time. Or J-Happ or... I don't know. I will say this: the Yankees got to stop using Ottavino as basically a righty one-out guy. What the hell is that?
Why? It's been weird.
You know, he can get lefties out.
Yeah, they've been very apprehensive when the lefties come up to use him. I don't know.
The Yankees cannot win an ALCS or a World Series if they're going to burn 2 or 3 of those guys in 1 inning or an inning plus. Yeah. You can't do that. You got to leave them in there.
No, especially if you're doing that in the 6th or 7th inning, because you don't know if they tie up a game in the 8th, and then you have to go into extras, and boom, guess what? We just wasted 2 pitchers that we really needed now.
Yeah, and especially guys who are, I'm sorry, again, capable of getting, like, you don't see them taking Britton out when a righty goes up.
That is true.
You don't see them taking Canely out when a lefty goes up. So why Ottavino? Ottavino's been the best out of all of them. Ottavino's been the Yankees' best reliever this year. And it's kind of not close. So I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't either. Okay.
Do we have anything else to say about the Juice Bowl?
No. That was a great segment. Thank you.
That was a very good segment. You see, I come up with good stuff every once in a while. We both, you had really 2 poll questions, but one of them was kind of initiated by me. The other one is initiated by you.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Do you care which one will be first?
Jump into whichever one.
Let's do yours. Let's do your poll question.
The first poll question was a lot of us didn't really like the hiring of Boone at first. And my question was, at what point did those feelings towards Boone ease up? Maybe like slightly, but so I believe the answers were I always hated him. The Savages rant after last season, and the last option was just other. Explain why and how you felt. And how did you vote?
So I ended up saying other.
Okay.
I'll say this, and it's very, very funny because I'm on social media and I see some of the posts that I made last year, like kind of on the anniversary, and boy, did I hate Aaron Boone last year around this time. He made some stupid decisions. He would bring in Lance Lynn with the bases loaded against the Red Sox in like the 3rd inning. He would leave CeCe Sabathia out for too long, and then the next night, the next starter he'd leave out for too long. And my God, it was just bad move after bad move. Yeah. Let me tell you something. At the end of the regular season, I liked Aaron Boone. He did a good job. The Yankees won 100 games last year. Don't ever forget that. He's one of only I think it's him, it's Alex Cora, and it is Rocco Baldelli. Those are the only 3 managers to win 100 games in their first year.
That's correct, yep.
So he did a very good job. Then it was, the playoffs where he really showed his weaknesses. Yeah. So I guess I got to answer it with this. And I'm sorry if this is a cop-out, but this is the true answer. I never hated Aaron Boone. I was always apprehensive. And the playoffs made me further apprehensive last year. And this year, I'm still a little apprehensive. He's been better. He's still making some weird decisions. And I've been talking about them.
I think we're gonna hopefully, because you did see a large level of improvement from year one to this year.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of fans have switched. The number one answer was the Savages rant, which kind of shows how fake Yankees fans
Yeah,
are.
I think that's kind of silly.
It's really silly.
I
He
think
did
that's
one
silly.
thing, and now all of a sudden you go,
Yeah.
oh, I always loved him. Oh, he was great. No,
Yeah.
you guys were talking so much shit.
That's kind of silly because, he went on a rant and got ejected. That doesn't change what he did last year.
I mean,
in the
I can
playoffs.
yell
That
and
doesn't-
scream too.
Yeah.
If I start yelling at you
Oh,
now,
I'd say way more than the Yankees or Savages in the box. I would, I'd have to be restrained, and
I would have made a sand castle over home plate. A drip castle. I would have had water, everything. It would have been
Drip?
elaborate.
Oh, I thought you meant like you would have peed on it or something.
I could do that too. I wouldn't have taken that far. They would have fined me a lot for that one.
I think you would have been suspended for the rest of the year.
Drip castle's pretty clever.
Because if you urinated on home plate,
Well, I didn't urinate on the umpire. As long as you don't make contact with the umpire, you're fine, right?
you have to take your wiener out in order to urinate.
What? They don't need to see that. What if
Everyone's going to see it.
you don't know
They're
that
all in the stadium.
What if I had a funnel?
Why would you have a funnel? Why would
So
you be
that I could
preparing for this
avoid-
instance?
Because you just brought it up.
Well, then that's not fun. If you're preparing and rehearsing for you to piss on home
who is the
plate.
guy that did the grenade rosin?
Oh, that was someone in the minor leagues. I have no idea, but that was awesome.
That was one of the best.
Yeah, that was great. He's like army crawling up to
Yeah,
the mound, grabs the rosin bag, pretends to bite the pin off, and chucks it. A very good throw, by the way.
Was a good
right. It rolls right onto home plate.
Was it good?
Yeah. So
We
look,
just went off on a
I'm
tangent.
sorry. I'm sorry that this is my answer, but the answer is pending.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see. I don't hate him, so I guess
Yeah, I don't really hate
I don't
him either.
remember.
I'd pick
I don't remember
other.
the phrasing of your question. So if it's like
I don't either. Who cares?
if it's like, do you hate him? I hated him for like a 1 month period.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I hate him, but I'll tell you this. I'm optimistic.
I am as
Right,
well.
because like we've both just said, we've seen the improvement even in the regular season.
Yep.
We've seen the improvement. I'm optimistic that he'll be able to guide us through the ALCS.
Yeah. For me, the issue was always I just wanted Joe back, and it took me a while to warm up to Boone. Now that I've seen that,
Not you. Relax.
really, really, Joe,
We don't want you managing the Yankees. You'd
kidding
sabotage
me?
them.
He would trade every player to the Schmets.
Although the Mets have an opening, so I'm gonna put I'm gonna say nice
yeah,
things about
go enjoy the
I'm gonna
Schmets.
go to
over
Brody
there.
Van Wagenen and say, hey, I got the guy for you. Now we can see how that works.
Oh,
We would need a
Jesus.
new producer, but Hey, how about the other poll question? This is the one that I initiated.
You're such a son of a bitch.
Hey,
dude.
everybody.
You really are.
I have a question for everyone. And really, when I say I have a question for everyone, what I actually mean is I know the answer, and I'm just kind of mentioning it. What's the better movie? Is it Terminator or Terminator 2? What do you think? I don't think you can do that here. Something tells me that you've just done something.
Good.
Let me say that CBD is not something that you can just do in people's recording space. So I'm going to have to ask you to not do that again.
You're wrong, though.
I'm actually right. First of all, you haven't even told them your answer.
My answer is whatever you voted is not what I voted. I think that the first one is significantly better for a lot of reasons,
Okay.
and I think that doesn't take away from how good the second one is. I don't think it needs to be in that line, but without the first one, you don't have the second one.
So here's what happened,
That's
everybody.
important.
So here's what happened. I'm sitting around one day and I'm watching some streaming services. Hulu, I think, is better than Netflix.
I would
So
agree.
I'll say that.
Yep.
Hulu has Terminator. So I'm like, oh, this is great.
They have both or just the first
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay,
I
sorry, my bad,
put
my
on
bad.
I put on Terminator. I'm watching Terminator. Great movie, regardless of which one I think is better. Terminator's an awesome movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So it ends. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I can't wait to watch the next one. I search Terminator 2. They don't have it. I search T2. They don't have it. I even tried searching Judgment Day. They don't have it. They don't have Terminator 2. Why do you have the first one?
Terrible.
And this is when I said on Twitter, why would you have Terminator but not the superior Terminator 2?
It's not superior.
It is superior.
That's the problem. I think that they're both equally amazing.
No, you don't. You think Terminator 1 is better.
By like this much. We're talking about 100% and a 93%.
You see, Evan's trying to downplay how much better he thinks it is because you called me out. You're the one who called me out.
Yeah,
and
because it's not superior.
As a matter of fact, your tweet made it sound like I was insane. So don't act like it's only this much.
Okay, first off, I'm going to send Joe the tweets and he's going to put it over the actual video so you'll see that you're wrong. I said that Terminator, the first one, is like an A+, and this one is like an A-.
Right.
That's a pretty good spectrum.
You still made me sound crazy.
Because you are crazy.
You're contradicting yourself, Evan. You're contradicting yourself.
I don't care. The second one is far less superior when it comes to the acting and the other stuff.
That's not true.
Dude, it's so cheesy. The kid is a terrible actor.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He was pretty cheesy.
No, he wasn't.
Every line was pretty cheesy.
Not a shot.
She is incredible, though.
Yeah.
The woman that played Sarah Connors is unbelievable.
What's her name?
I can't remember, but she was fantastic in both of them.
Yeah, she was great in both. She's more of a badass in the second one. And that's part of the reason why I like it.
I'll give you that. The scene in the psychiatric ward in the second one where she has the baton and she's just wailing on those psych guys. It's awesome.
And, you know, that one scene where this dude is holding that, whatever the hell he was holding over the detonator.
Right.
And you just see the look on his face and like, oh, he's not going to be able to hold that. Click. Boom. Everything blows up.
Yep.
Incredible. I will say, to your point, the police station scene in Terminator.
Right.
Incredible also. The way he drives a car through and...
So when was T2 made? Do you know the year?
I think
because I know the first one was 84.
It was a while after.
Right? It was like
I think 89,
it was like 91.
I think it was like 90, 91. Yeah.
Okay, so like that's kind of my point is that they were different styles for different generations.
Yeah, but like that also kind of plays to the advantage of T2 because the special effects in Terminator 1, while nice for their time, have not stood the test of time.
No, not at all. They're very dated. I watched it the other night. It looks very...
Like, there's times where the robot is walking, and you can tell it's just like a toy robot, and he just looks so weird up against that background.
The battle scenes where they show, like, the flashbacks of them in the Terminator battles in the first one are not... They look so ridiculous. You're right.
They look like something out of Babylon 5. It's really dumb.
You know those stupid robots that they have in the supermarkets now that clean up shit and that's what they fucking look like.
Yeah. And there's that one scene he like steps on like
and crushes the skull.
Like a skull, yeah. It's so bad. But you know, it's cool. Like for its time, I bet you it was phenomenal.
Regardless, I'm gonna go watch the second one tonight because I watched the first one a couple nights ago.
And then you can admit that you were wrong because you'll end up liking it more.
I like all three equally.
The third one sucked.
The third one I give a solid C+.
That's not a solid grade for a movie. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be like, oh man, I can't wait to go see that C+ movie later.
A lot of good action scenes. That's why I watched it.
That was what confused me on your poll because you included Terminator 3 and you included Salvation.
Yeah.
And by the way, it did get one vote. That had to be a troll vote.
First off, bro, they give you 4 options. I don't like leaving 2 blanks.
Why?
Because I don't like that. You gotta fill in the space. There's 5 films.
All you're doing is leaving the door open for people to pick a... Nobody actually likes the third one or the fourth one best.
You'd be surprised.
Nobody.
You'd be surprised. I bet there's a lot of kids these days who find the third one much better.
There's a lot of kids these days that don't know what Terminator is. And you can take this from someone who deals with them.
They're about to make Terminator 6 the woman edition.
And it's going to suck. It's going to suck.
Great.
It's going to suck.
Power.
Stop it. That franchise should have just died after Terminator 3.
No, absolutely not. They're going to make Terminator 6, 7, and 8 pretty soon, and I'm very excited for it. They might make a new Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah. No, they are making a new Ghostbusters.
Oh, I was just joking. Really.
No, they're making... with the original act. I mean, obviously, they can't do all the original actors, but the original actors that are still alive, they're all going to be in it. I'm very excited for it because, you know...
I literally just found out within this moment that is an
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because there was one a few years ago, but we don't talk about that one.
I own that one.
You're filthy.
Yeah.
Cool, everyone. And by the way, in case you were all wondering, that poll that he put up, T1, T2, T3, Rise of the Machines, Terminator Salvation, which one do you think won?
T1.
T2
This
won.
is 27 down.
No, we're not done yet. 50% to your 43%. So that makes you dumb. Now, I guess that's enough of that. Why don't we... I guess we
do
have
your shout outs, bro.
Well, no, we have a little bit of time still.
Okay, cool.
I think we.
By the way, this beer
we got time.
sucks.
Okay, so here's the thing. Those of you who listen via iTunes or Spreaker, but nobody does that.
Spreaker's the best one.
No, nobody uses that.
I do.
That's exactly my point.
Joe does.
So, no, you see that? You see
Don't
that?
you shake your head, Joe. You taught me Spreaker. It's the best.
It's a really good way of putting it on to iTunes and other things. Okay. So yeah, if you listen, you wouldn't know this, but if you watch on YouTube, you can see the beers and why are we drinking Foster's and Modelo? This is a question for you.
I forgot the good beer at home because I was looking for a bottle opener, which he has the whole time anyway. So I forgot the beer. So we went to CVS.
Do you all understand my pain now? Do you all get it? Do you understand now why I am stressed? Do you get why I'm stressed?
I mean, I thought it was the ugly beard and the man bun, but...
First of all, he can't grow a beard like me.
First off, you have never seen my beard came out to here once, you freaking monk.
Secondly, you also don't have the hair of a Greek god. Okay? So...
Your hair is dirty. You look like you just mopped the floor.
What are you talking about? I shower every day.
That doesn't help. Some people take showers and they look dirtier.
I wash my hair every single day.
First off, our good friend and fan, Kate, is from Australia.
Okay.
Just gotta say, Foster's fucking sucks. This is the worst beer ever.
I bet she would agree with you.
I'm gonna ask
just
because
someone's from
Shout
somewhere.
out to Kate.
Just because someone's from somewhere doesn't mean they like the most popular beer from there. Like, what's the most popular? If you go to, like, St. Louis, Missouri, you think they're all like, yeah, Budweiser. I don't think so. Hey, what do you guys like here in Colorado? If they say Coors, I will literally urinate on them with my urine.
That's usually how that works.
I have to... So, as a matter of fact, Kate, if you don't mind, what do you think of Foster's? Is it disgusting because it's disgusting? So we're actually telling you it's disgusting. You tell us, what do you think?
Foster's Australian for shitty beer.
Yeah, this is like... And why are there... Give me that. Why are there different colors for the same beer? They're not different styles. One's not a lager, one's an IPA. Ooh, this one's a... Blah, blah. They're the same. These are the same. They taste like the same horse urine or kangaroo urine, whatever animals they have in Australia.
I do believe they have kangaroos. I do.
Koalas, whatever the fuck they have. It's making me curse. You see that? It's the second episode in a row I've cursed.
Yeah, you need to stop doing that.
Oh, well. It's difficult. Can we talk about managers in Major League Baseball a little?
Let's do it.
Because
we're going to wrap it up pretty soon. I think this is a good episode. Let's talk about the managers.
Yeah, so it all started a few weeks ago. I got to fix my bun. Hold on. It all started a few weeks ago with the first managerial move, which was kind of surprising, at least to me. People might disagree. When Madden got fired. I guess I kind of understand because maybe the Cubs realize that their window is closing, and once their window is closed, he's not going to be the guy for them anymore.
Right, I think that's probably the direction they went with.
But I kind of feel like at the same time, there's so many bounce back candidates for that team. Yeah. Baez is going to be better. I feel like Bryant should be better. It's going to be
interesting to see who they pick to take over that situation.
Yeah, like who's out there right now that's better? Who do you think? Buck Showalter, maybe? He seems like the kind of guy that a team that's in flux. Yeah, he's like the guy that
it's a good transition.
He's a good transition kind of guy to lead to the guy that's going to take you to the next level. So he's an option. Do you think I've heard that maybe Girardi might be interested in that position?
I still think Girardi's going to do something else like the Mets or something. I don't know why.
Maybe, but he's also got a cushy job as an analyst. You've seen this so many times where people are like, hey, where's this guy going to go? And then the answer ends up being nowhere.
Who would be an interesting fit for the Mets? Carlos Beltran.
They are interviewing him.
Yeah.
They're interviewing
I think him
and Girardi.
Girardi, Robbie, Ventura.
Oh, my God. I thought you were about to say Valentine.
I was. Sorry.
I was about to do backflips.
Ventura. I got confused in mid-sentence.
Oh, man.
Ventura. Robin Ventura. Sorry. Todd
You
Zeal.
just canceled Christmas on me. Todd Zeal, really?
Yep. Todd Zeal. And there were two more that are escaping my mind.
Brad Ausmus is out there.
No,
Knowing the Mets.
So is they just fired Gabe Kapler today. Phillies.
Oh, yeah, Kapler, yeah.
I said that I thought that the Mets were going to fire Callaway and that the Phillies were going to fire Kapler.
So these are the ones that have been fired. So it started with Madden. Then immediately after that was Ausmus. And it's like, come on, Angels.
Yeah, well,
you at least have to kind of hide the fact that you're firing him so you can get Joe Madden. So it was them. Callaway got the axe. And now Kapler's gotten the axe. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. Oh, the Padres fired their manager as well. I don't remember his name because he's irrelevant.
Black.
No, it's not Bud Black.
Oh.
I think he's the Rockies manager now.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Yeah, no, it hasn't been Bud Black for several years.
Yeah, I always mess that up. Whatever.
Oh, and you know what? I think actually Clint Hurdle got fired too from the Pirates.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Clint Hurdle did, yes.
So there's 6 right there.
Yep.
Which seems about right. Actually, maybe it seems like more than usual if you were to ask. I don't know. I have no idea. But these are the guys that are available, right? And then obviously you have the newbies like apparently Zeal, and you have a guy like Carlos Beltran who really wants to manage.
Right.
Ventura hasn't had a job this year as a manager. I don't think he's very good.
He was with the White Sox.
Oh, I guess
right?
Buck Showalter's another name that's out there. I already mentioned him. But who knows? Again, when the Yankees were in Texas, he was actually doing commentary for them. Maybe that's where he wants to be now.
I really want to see who the Mets go with because I want to see the direction in which they're thinking right now.
Yeah, I mean, Girardi works. I think that he's battle tested in New York.
Yeah.
Very, very good manager. And what was like one of the biggest things that kind of held the Mets back this year was their bullpen was trash.
Yeah.
And Callaway was not very good at kind of sifting through it. Girardi is great at taking just absolute chicken crap and turning it into chicken
And I
soup.
also think that Girardi has
I don't think that's how that phrase goes, by the way. I think I butchered that.
Whatever.
But hey, it works now.
I think Girardi has a high level of structure, which the Mets don't really have and they kind of need. So putting someone like that who's not going to take crap and he's going to be like, no, we're doing it this way, follow it.
And it'll be nice to see a manager for the Mets that can kind of butt heads against the media without actually literally trying to butt his head against the media. It would be very nice to have a guy who can fight back without fighting back.
It would be painful to see him in the Mets uniform.
It would suck, but at the same time, I'd be happy for him.
I would be happy for him because I love Joe, but to see my Joe as a Met... he's probably my favorite manager that I've ever had in my lifetime, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Yankees fans talk about Joe Torre.
Yeah,
but
I only remember Torre, Girardi, and Boone, really. Like, I don't remember Buck or...
I'm sorry, everyone. I have a hot take for you. Joe Torre wasn't a very good manager.
He wasn't.
I'm sorry. Guys, can you put down the pitchforks and torches for a second? He got some very good teams. I feel like I could have managed those late 90s, 2000 teams.
Remember the feel of it when the Yankees hired him, everyone was like, what the hell, Joe Torre? And now all of a sudden, because he won those championships, now he's amazing.
It's like...
You're right.
He was really bad at managing a bullpen.
Horrible. And he showed it on multiple occasions, including times in which we won the World Series.
He destroyed Scott Proctor. Remember? He's dead.
Oh, God, Scott Proctor.
And he would not deviate from Paul Quantrill, Tom Gordon, and obviously Mariano.
Do you remember Kyle Farnsworth?
Oh, God. It hurts to live. But I remember Paul Quantrill was always out there every single day.
He was out there a lot.
Dude had like a 5 ERA. Why was he part of that?
It was that low? It was only a 5?
I don't want to trash Joe Torre. I love you, Joe. You brought championships to New York. I'm just saying that
I met him at Sal's Pizza.
I'm just saying that I could have done your job and win just as good, maybe better.
I would pick Joe Girardi over Joe Torre for a bunch of reasons.
I would too.
Yeah.
We got anything else to say, man? Oh,
just the shout-outs. Do your shout-outs.
You want to do yours first?
No.
Do yours first.
I got to look it up.
Why aren't you doing it then?
Okay.
Do you see what I put up with? Do you see this garbage? You make me want to slap you right in the slap area, which is your face.
Shout out to Chris.
Chris? Oh, Chris. Yeah, Chris. Thank you very much. We got to get Chris out in the field more.
Yes,
just like how he was there.
I've actually told him a bunch of times we want him to work on like a new intro thing. Maybe he could do that, or
yeah. But I'm thinking we should have him.
Yeah,
on the field
he needs to
more.
do out of the field stuff. Yeah, for sure. So shout out to Chris, obviously.
All right. So we have I guess a new fan.
Let's hear it.
And I apologize if I mispronounce your name. I'll just give your Twitter handle at @WSichanti. Thank you for your kind words. Apparently,
Yeah, you said our podcast is funny.
Well.
She said I'm funny.
No.
She loves me.
She said specifically tagged me and me only. Your podcast makes me laugh. You see that, everybody? This is my podcast, and I make people laugh. He just makes people very annoyed.
You do understand the fact that this podcast is my dream, and I brought you in as my co-host.
We can talk about all that stuff. I mean, the origin of the podcast is not that
Didn't you
simple.
try a baseball blog that failed? And then
It did fail because I was too bored to type.
Okay.
I was too lazy to type.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like typing
He
anymore.
enjoys this because he likes the sound of his voice.
Correct.
I mean, I do too. That's why we're here.
Who's your shout out? You're talking, but you're not looking up. The
Shout out to Frankie Too Loud. We're gonna have him on sometime maybe.
Hi, Frankie. Shout out to you.
Scotty Marsh. He's
Hello, Scott.
actually a Red Sox and Bruins fan, but he thinks we're funny, so that's cool.
Nobody's perfect. Hey, I'm sure people in Boston think I'm an asshole.
Shout out
People
to,
in New York think I'm an asshole.
Shout out to Ashley. Hope everything's going well.
Hi, Ashley.
Shout out to Rebecca.
Hello, Rebecca. Shout out to you, too.
Shout out to Little Joe.
Hello, Little Joe. Are you just reading through the names in your timeline?
I'm just going through my DMs right now of people I talked to recently.
Who else?
Oh, you want me to keep going? Yankees Fireside Chat.
Hi, Yankees Fire Chat. You had one in the car that you told me you still haven't done that one.
I don't remember.
You know, he's been asking you for proof on everything that you keep saying.
Oh yeah, Hendo. Yeah, hi Hendo, you're an asshole. Hen duty.
Please end the show.
This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. Take care, guys.